universe is on my side. Heaven and earth have finally aligned. Days are good, and that's the way it should be.
When we actually first started talking was both after our missions. We kind of met at a friend's, she was having a hot chocolate party, and so that was the first time we actually talked to each other.
Okay, we officially met. We knew each other kind of in high school, who each other was, but we never spoke to each other. And then after our missions, we met at my friend Larissa's house, and she just had people come together, and we were talking, and I saw him and his friends, and I've been longtime friends with one of his best friends actually, so I went to go talk to him and be polite and try and be a better person, I guess. So then I was just talking with them, and for whatever reason, it was just hey, you should probably get to know Jared Buchanan. It was super random, and so I just was okay, I guess I'm gonna try and get to know Jared.
She had gone to Norway. She had just gotten back from her mission, and I was like, hey, did you go on a mission? And she was like, yeah, I went to Norway. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And we started talking about it and everything. And then we were leaving, and I said something dumb. I said something because we were walking out, and we were like, okay, bye. And I was like, yeah, it was good to talk to you or something. And I was just like, yeah, we should speak Norwegian sometime. Something super dumb like that. And she's like, okay. It was a couple weeks after that, and her and some of her friends were hanging out or something like that, and she kind of hinted towards Kyle, who's kind of a mutual friend of ours. She's like, hey, what's up with Jared and stuff, and can I get his number? Or she kind of convinced him to text me to text her, and gave me her number. So, and he's like, hey, take this girl on a date. And I was like, I thought he was just messing around with me. So I was like, okay. So I just texted the number, and I was like, hey, go on a date with me. That's all I said. And she's like, okay.
A friend of mine was at my house, I can't remember what we were watching, and I just kind of turned to him and I was like, hey, so what do you know about Jared Buchanan? Because he was good friends with Jared and his friends. And he was like, why? Because I'm curious, I just want to know. And he goes, I'll have him ask you on a date. And I was like, that's not what I asked for. I didn't ask for that. So he then texted Jared and was like, hey, take her on a date, here's her number. So then Jared contacted me that way. But I mean, it was me. I did it first, technically. He texted me right that night, and he was like, hey, Zoe, go on a date with me. And I was like, okay, I will. And he was like, cool, I'll text you with details, I guess, later. I was just like, this is really good. This is super awkward.
So I hate first dates. I'm not a very good dating person, when you say hey, let's go on a date, I'm not I don't know. I'm kind of awkward sometimes. I don't know how to behave, I guess, quite right. But so when we were going on this date, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be weird, I hardly know this girl. I really don't even know why I'm doing this, because my friend basically put me up to it. Okay, well, let's go to dinner or something. So we just went to this place called Tokyo Joe's. It's right there across the street from Dana Park, and it was great, it was super natural and everything, and everything was went really smoothly, and I was really oh, this is weird, things are going good, this never happens.
So we finally found time in between my two jobs and at the very end of his job. So we went to dinner at Tokyo Joe's, and I remember distinctly because we had to meet there because we just met up to eat and then had to leave because I was in between jobs, there was no way to work it. So we met, and I walk in and I see this kid sitting down, and he's got red hair, and he's looking up at the menu, and in my mind I was just oh, he's so cute. He was just so cute. And so he was really kind. It was just really easy to talk to him. We talked a lot about our missions because that's an easy way to talk about it, and I had just been home from mine for about a month and a half. So we talked about our missions for a while, and he was just really funny and would tease me a little bit, and I could tease him, and it just felt really natural. Nothing was forced, nothing was at any point awkward or weird. So it was awesome. I was just yeah, I probably should see him again.
I had kind of made it like kind of like a personal goal. I was like, well, I'm gonna kiss her on New Year's Eve, you know, because that's cool. We went to like a pancake party or something, and again, we were just hanging out and stuff, and around like 2 o'clock, everyone starts leaving. We walked out to our cars, and it was like I didn't know like if she was like giving me the signs or not, you know. So it was I was still trying to contemplate if I was gonna do it, and then we're like mid conversation, we're talking about nothing, you know, because I'm just trying to like carry it on, and I couldn't think of a way to segue into that. So I was like, hey, can I kiss you? Just like, because I had no other way, and she just kind of like laughed and was like yeah. So we kissed, and I guess that's kind of where we figure like that's when we started dating for reals, is New Year's Day on 2015.
I liked him, but like I didn't know how I felt, so I was like, I don't really know what's going on. And so we had made plans to see each other on New Year's, and he was gonna come and hang out with my friends and I, because we planned our own little New Year's thing instead of having to pay for one of the parties. So he came and like was with my friends. It was really fun, but like I still like wasn't sure like what was going on. And so I was kind of like, okay, like it's really cool, and I liked him. Like I really liked him. Like I thought he was like a super great guy. And so then he just it was after New Year's, and it was that night, and he was at my car and he was talking to me, and he was all like jittery and like moving and like wasn't really making complete thoughts. And I was like, I'm cold and I'm gonna go home. And so then he just like kind of was like, so can I kiss you? And I was like, yeah, you can do that.
There was one time we were just, we probably had an argument about something dumb, and we were just like, kind of like, I don't know, not really mad at each other, but just kind of like, you know, like trying to figure things out. And I was like, hey, you know what, you know, as much stuff is going on, you know, I love you. And she's like, well, I love you too, I just didn't want to say it. And I'm like, I didn't want to say it because I don't know, you know.
I've been dating for a couple of months, and like I felt like I was a crazy person because I was like, I can't love this person already. Like I hardly know him, and like everything was so natural and it all just went really well that like I felt like inside, like, you know, I really did love him, but like I thought I was crazy because I didn't know what he was thinking. So the first time we said I love you, I was having like a really emotional day, and I was like crying, and I was like, I just don't even know what's going on, and I just, you know, was being such a girl. And he was just like, he was like, I feel like every time like I tell you that I like you, I'm lying. And I was like, what does that mean? It's like, that's so rude. And instead he turned and he was like, he's like, it's not adequate. It's like how I feel. He's like, I don't like you. He's like, I love you. And then I was like, oh, I'm not crazy. I'm like, I love you too.
So we went up to Utah again, and that one actually was like even better than the first time that we went up. So I was like, okay, I really got to start thinking about this, you know. And she was kind of like, well, you know, let's, you know, like, where are we at in our relationship? Because it had been a few months. So we got back, and that's when I like kind of like started praying about it and stuff. And then that's really like right after that trip, that's what was like the deciding factor to me. I was like, okay, I gotta get married. I'm gonna marry this girl. Like, I love her. You know, let's do this. You know.
I'm one of those real girls, like when I first met him and stuff, I was like, I'm gonna marry him. Like I was home for a mission, I was like, let's go, like let's just seal the deal or whatever. And he was really slow, and like I'm really grateful that he was, because we've been able to spend a lot of time like getting to know each other and like going through things and talking about things that most people don't do before. Falling in love with Jared was really gradual. I mean, it did take time. Like I really liked him at first, and there were so many things that like kept me like liking him and kept me wanting to get to know him. And I really loved him as a person, and it got to the point where like I was like sick if I didn't hear from him, and like, you know, all the stupid things that girls say, like, you know, oh, I'm just so sad and I miss you. I would never tell him that because I felt like an idiot, so I just didn't. But, you know, I really knew that like I loved him and like wanted to marry him when we were able to go up to Utah together, because we were able to spend that time together to really get to know each other, to see how we worked together, and just to have such a good time. Like there wasn't a care in the world, and there wasn't an agenda, and it was just the two of us being able to figure things out. And I knew that like, yeah, like we're gonna get married, and like I loved him before, but like I knew then like what that love was supposed to be and where it was going.
I basically told her we were going on a date, and like, hey, let's just go out to the desert, you know, we'll like watch a movie on a laptop or something, you know. And she's like, okay, cool. You know? So I went and picked her up, and we had dinner and stuff. And we were driving out here, and like, and I think I did pretty good, because I like brought all these blankets and stuff too, and like I was like, yeah, you know, we're just gonna like, you know, like hang out and stuff. And she was like, yeah, okay, cool, you know. So we're pulling in, and I'm like, hey, have I ever showed you this place? You know, it's like, we call it the Ravine. It's just like, you know, we found it like years ago. And she's like, no. And I'm like, well, let's go check it out. And she's like, okay, cool. So we pull up to this ravine, and like, you know, you can drive your car right up to it, you know, but you obviously can't fit it in there. So drive right up to it, and you can't see anything, you know, it's night, there's no moon out or anything. And we get out of the car, as we're walking closer, I had my dad, my brother, and all my friends and stuff like turn on this generator that turned on all these lights that lit up down the ravine. She kind of like freaked out. She was like, "Oh shoot, what's going?" You know, like what's going on? I don't think she had any idea. Like I kind of like grabbed her and was like, you know, like, and I think she kind of was like understanding that it was for her, you know. And we walked down, and there was like pictures, like different things that we've done throughout our relationship, like different trips we've been on and stuff, like hanging on the walls. We kind of like winded down in, and then there was like this tree. It's not really a tree. It was like a sad bush that was like knocked over, but it was all decorated with like candles and lanterns and stuff. And like right in the middle there was another picture of us, and then right below that was the box with the ring in it. So I, you know, opened that and proposed right there, and I probably couldn't even get my words out. I don't remember what I said because it was just like all like obviously she said yes.
I totally thought I was gonna, like, you know, when he like had the ring and know everything that was going on, I was totally caught off guard, and I was almost mad about it, but it was perfect. So we were supposed to go on a double date that night, and his friend, Jared texted me when he was at work and was like, hey, you know, they bailed because she couldn't come or whatever, so it's just the two of us, but still want to go on the date because we were supposed to come out to the desert and we were gonna watch a movie in the back of his car. And I was like, okay, like we can still go. Like, he was like, I'm all set on it. And I was like, okay, let's go. So he picks me up, you know, the car's full of all this stuff, and we go to dinner. And we're at dinner, and everything's normal. Like, he's not rushing, he's not like nervous or anything. Like, everything was just fine. We're driving out to the desert, and as we're driving out there, he's like, hey, have I ever shown you the ravine? And I was like, no. I was like, what's that? He was like, oh, you know, me and my friends found it when we were, you know, in the desert one time with my FJ. Like, it's really cool. You want to go check it out? And I was like, yeah, like, that's fine. Like, let's go check it out. Like, we got no plans. And so we're going out to this ravine out at Butcher Jones Park, and we're driving, and it takes like 2 seconds to get there. Like, I didn't realize how close it was. And he parks, and it's like super dark, like pitch black everywhere. And I was like freaked out because I'm a girl. Like, you know, I'm paranoid. So I take out like my flashlight so I could see. So I turn on the flashlight, and I'm walking, like a phone flashlight, and he like looks over at me, he's like, well, that's no fun. And I was like, okay. So I turned it off, and he kept teasing me, so I turned it back on, and right as I turn it on, I look up, and this like canyon like ravine thing like just lights up with these lights, and I turned to book it. Like, I'm out of there. Like, this is scary. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. This is like a seance, like something bad's about to happen. I'm not prepared for that. We're gonna go. So then he like has to grab me and like pushes me back like towards the ravine, and I was like, is this funny to you? Like, is this like fun? Like, I don't understand. So then, like, as we walk towards it, I noticed, like, you know, it's these stringed lights, and I was like, okay, like, why, how? And then like I look, and there's these picture frames hanging, and then like it hit me, and I was like, oh. I was like, I know what's going on. So then, like, all of a sudden, like, all of like the tears and like the feels were in the throat and my eyeballs, and I just was like, oh. I finally knew what was going on, and we walked through the little ravine canyon thing, and it was beautiful. I mean, once I realized it wasn't scary, it was perfect. He got down on his knee, and he just told me that, you know, he said, Zoe, you make me so happy. Like, will you marry me? And I can't remember if I said yes, but I nodded really violently, and he put the ring on my finger, and it was beautiful. It was perfect.
She's beautiful, obviously. You know, she's really kind of like in tune with her spirit and everything. Like, she knows what she wants, she knows what's right and everything. And I think that's, you know, super important. Besides like all like the basic stuff, you know, like she's got her head on straight. She's, you know, she's very like, you know, like logical and like, you know, very open about like what she wants and everything. I mean, like, she is super adventurous. Anytime I'm like, hey, let's go do something, you know, she's like, oh yeah, you know, let's do it. And even honestly, she's probably more adventurous than me a lot of times because she'll want to do stuff, and I'm kind of like, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, sounds cool, you know. And I think that, you know, that's gonna, like, you know, be fun in like the marriage and stuff. Like that'll be like really fun to go explore and stuff with her. I mean, she's always super happy, very cheerful. I mean, I think everyone knows that. That's, you know, everyone that knows her knows that she's always just really happy. She's just, you know, she's a good person to like just to be around. You know, she like lifts your spirits. You know, like no matter like how you're feeling at the time. But and I know like everyone that I know that knows her, like already thinks the world of her, you know, that it's like, oh my gosh, I love Zoe so much. And like you hear that about people, but I mean, like I've heard it more about her than I think anybody that I've ever met. And I mean, like, kind of, I don't know, superficial stuff, but she's got red hair, and that was like a big deal for me. It wasn't like a deal breaker if she didn't have red hair, but I mean, like, it was like one of those things, you know, it was like, yes, right on. Because we'll have, like, you know, redheaded kids, which is eventually.
He is one of the sweetest and most considerate, kind people you'd ever meet. And some people, I guess, judge him differently or judge him wrong because he can kind of come off as harsh. But he has the kindest soul. He is the most loyal friend and the most loyal family member to those he loves. And he's always looking out for other people that he cares about. He's never, you know, just in it for himself. He's always, you know, making sure people are okay and that they're taken care of. And he's kind of an adventure junkie, like big time. And I am too, but sometimes I need a little bit of a push or a reason, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'd like to do that, but I'm not gonna do that. But when he wants to do something, he's kind of like a pointer dog, and he does it. And it keeps things young and it keeps things fun. And you know, I want to marry him because I know that we're able to talk to each other, that we're able to stay young, that we're able to just be able to laugh together. Because if we can't, like, this life just gets too serious, and then we get upset and we get sad. And it's gotten to the point where, like, I can't see my life going forward if he's not in it.